Welcome to Monkey C,
Manga review.
where we are going to cover Dune Part 1, just released the other day. So,
If you have not watched this movie yet, either in theaters or on HBO Max, go watch it because spoilers will commence now. Great movie. After watching it, if you have the opportunity to go watch it in a theater, it is well worth it.
yes.
I would definitely suggest IMAX if there's a theater near you that is showing it in IMAX.
Right. So, we definitely did not get to watch it in theaters, but we have definitely both sat here and talked about it today like, hey, it was good enough. We may wind up going to see it in theaters.
Now, my setup's a little bit better than Sunny's because I actually have a projector and surround sound system, so it's close, but not in the level of like IMAX level theater. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So this was a movie my wife was like super into. Like she thought it was good. She was so impressed with it. Like the next day, so we watched it for Thursday night. Mm-hmm. We talked about it on Friday. She went to the store yesterday and bought a book.
Yep.
She's just like, I just want to see, because if the movie was good, but there was so much left out, what all was left out?
Yeah.
And I'm
the
like,
book's got to be so much better.
yeah. So for me personally, it met all my criteria. It was good story, good acting, great special effects. Visually, it was stunning, and the music was off the chart.
Yeah.
Like, this was like a home run, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably one of the best movies that Warner Brothers has produced in a long time.
Yes.
Honestly. Like I said, visually stunning. Sound production was brilliant through it,
Yes.
even with the music, and then also just the sound of the set and different aspects of it were just really, really well done. With all their different vehicles and guns and weapons and things like that, even their shields that they use
Yes.
had their own type of sound to it.
Yep.
Just really cool. Well done.
Yeah,
You know,
the sound engineering was incredible. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly think this will be a movie that get a lot of awards.
Definitely.
If this does not hit some Oscars and some other award shows hard and get some big stuff, then I'll be shocked.
Yeah. It was well done, and they had a pretty good mix of like probably practical effects
Yes.
and costumes and things built in with the CGI and things like that. But yeah, it was beautiful.
So it was a beautiful movie, sound wise. The actors, the actresses, all
phenomenal.
spectacular.
Yeah.
Like this was not a low budget movie. This was a very large budget, and they put it to use.
Yeah, and they casted everyone extremely well.
Right.
Even the main actor, I think this is the first movie I think I've ever seen him in,
For me, it was.
and he did phenomenal.
Yes.
But you had just the people built around him,
Yeah.
as far as like the other main actors throughout the story, just phenomenal.
Yeah. Definitely recommend everybody seeing it. Like we said a minute ago, this is based off the book by Frank Herbert, which I believe came out in the 1970s, maybe late 1960s. I know George Lucas took a lot of liberal inspirations
From the
we'll
book
say
for Star Wars.
from this for Star Wars, the first trilogy, and even to the point of actually using some names in the show or in the movies from this book. This book was also originally made into a movie, I believe, in 1984, the first time it went around. And it was good. It was really hard to follow. They put a lot more emphasis on aspects of the movie to try to make things make sense. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That just didn't pan out. Plus, the special effects in 1984 were by far.
Yeah, the
Painful.
ability, like the cinematography has progressed so much, since that original movie came out, and the storytelling and the complexity that they can do now,
Yes.
and just understanding how to properly tell a story on
Yes.
screen, played a big role in this film. Because you have some points where it's a little bit confusing, but if you're paying attention, you can pretty much follow. Okay, this is what that's meaning.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Especially as the movie goes along, when you get closer to the end of this part, it's like, okay, starting to make sense a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a 2.5 hour film, and you definitely have those moments where it's like, okay, well, this is kind of slowing down. This is kind of losing my interest. But I've watched it twice now, and after finishing, remember the 84 version, it was okay for what it was. And I went into this one saying, okay, this is going to be good. One, the cast is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, and every preview and trailer for it just made it look that much more gorgeous. So I was like, okay, we're going to watch it. We watched it and it was like, okay, so interesting. And going back and watching it the second time, even the parts that you think are slow the first time you watch it, you can go back the second time and watch it again. You're like, that makes sense why this was going on. Like there's parts where the Jesuit priest or the Jesuit, what are they, motherhood or sisters or whatever they call them, are going through and doing things, and you don't really understand what the problem is. You're just like, okay, so, but I mean, it's full of betrayal. It is full of espionage. It's full of murder. And for all that violence and things like that, it isn't a gory movie.
No, not at all.
Like I have a 6-year-old, and if he was interested, we would let him watch this movie. Like this is a movie I feel like the family can watch. There was no language, no nudity, no sexual content.
The only scene that would be close to nudity was when the father,
Yeah,
played by Isaac, he's at the table. He is completely nude. They don't show anything, but
Right.
he is. You can tell that he's completely nude in
Yeah.
that sense. They don't show anything, but
yeah,
for some people that may be a little bit too much for their family. That'd be
Yeah.
the only scene that would
Yeah.
be close to it,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
yeah. And that, like you said, you don't see anything. They do a lot of blocking.
Yeah, they block it,
You know,
shadows and things like that. You just know that he is nude in
Yes.
that sense. And then that's all they show. They don't do anything else with it.
Yeah.
They don't drag him away or do anything like that. It's just they have that one scene.
Right.
You see that, doesn't show anything, and then go
Yeah.
on from there.
I loved it. I thought it was great. So, big thing for me to take for the takeaway about this movie is, it is a part one. This is a part one. Do not go into this movie thinking you're going to get every bit of closure you want.
Yeah, because as soon as it pops up, Dune, part one, like, okay, I'm not getting any closure from this movie at all at the beginning. Like, I'm about to sit here for 2.5 hours, and I'm going to have zero closure. So be prepared for that.
Yeah.
There's not even an end credit scene. They don't do anything.
Nothing.
It literally just ends, and it's like, okay, I need a part two. And
Right.
we were talking about this a little bit ago. Warner Brothers has not officially announced that they are doing a part two.
Right.
Which would be a mistake if they
Absolutely.
don't.
Huge mistake.
Because, like I said, this is one of the best movies I've seen Warner Brothers produce in a very long time.
Absolutely.
I couldn't tell you the last movie that would probably be on this level from Warner Brothers.
Yes. That wasn't an already established,
Yes.
like
Franchise or something.
like a DC storyline.
Yeah.
This,
By the
but
way,
for,
it's better than most DC movies.
I'm going to be honest. It's better than 90% of the DC movies out there, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. I'm not going to get really
Yeah.
on that horse.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really cannot just convey the beauty of the cinematography.
That was brilliant.
I mean, we're on a desert planet, Arrakis,
But they make it look beautiful.
and you're just like, this is absolutely a gorgeous setting. Like everything in it, like the architecture, the ships, the clothes. I watched a documentary on HBO Max of just what they went into to make the clothes. Because it was, I mean, there's so many things about this movie that is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I really do recommend it for anybody that's into a sci-fi. Now, if you've read the books, of course, it's never going to compare to the books because books have a lot more opportunity, and plus your imagination fills that out. But for those of us who have not read the books, it is brilliant. Highly recommend it. In the way they end it, going into a major turning point in the story,
Yes.
was a great place to end it. It's very reminiscent of when you're watching Lord of the Rings and you finished Fellowship of the Rings and the Fellowship is broken
Yes.
and everybody's going on their separate missions.
Yep.
It was one of those moments where it was like, oh, this is about to get big.
Yeah. Because we get basically in the movie where the people that are trying to kill
Paul.
Paul, but the family is the house of the Arrakis.
No, the planet is Arrakis. The house is Atreyu or something like that.
Atreides.
Atreides. Yeah.
Basically, they're trying to wipe out this house because they're the house that is gaining power and recognition, even to the point where the Emperor views them as a rival.
Yes.
Basically. So they send them into this planet knowing that if they can't produce like the previous people that the Emperor had given this planet to, basically he'd have to kill them.
Yes.
Right? They have to be able to produce the spice and ship so much of it per 30 days, blah,
Yes.
blah, blah. And so basically in the movie, with Paul, the house that the Emperor aligns himself with, to come in and kill everybody, they think he's dead.
Yes.
They think they have wiped out the entire family. And then, so the Emperor thinks he's free and clear.
Yes.
And Paul is dead, but we know that he's not. And then he's at the point where he's finally accepted who he is.
Yes.
And he's ready to take the path.
Yes, it's a movie and a book story full of prophecies and things like that. He realizes that he is potentially the fulfillment of prophecy
Yep.
that the Jesuit motherhood and priest have been working for centuries to bring about.
Yeah, which is going to be a
And
male.
his mother is actually one of them.
Yes. And so within their creed, they don't train any males born in
No, they won't.
born. They're only supposed to have female
Right.
girls, children. And so she has a boy,
Yes.
and she starts training him in secret. His father, I believe, is unaware of this fact,
Absolutely.
and he's always
I think
trusted his
I
mother.
think he knows he's being trained, but I don't think he knows the prophecy.
No, he doesn't know a whole lot, but he's trusted not his wife, but
His concubine.
his concubine, in the fact that that's his son. He wants her to protect him, and he knows there's some stuff going on, but it's still his son.
Yeah.
Right.
So, one way or the other, there's an heir to his throne,
Yes.
to his line.
And prophecies all over the place throughout the entire movie, and
And Paul is the prince, the son, who is being prophesied about.
Yep.
He's having visions, he's having dreams where he is seeing the planet Arrakis and people on that planet. I mean, he'll have a vision in the middle of just walking to a destination.
yes.
So it's not like one of these let's get still and get quiet moments. Like it comes on him.
It started out like that when he was dreaming, things like that, and then as he got to the planet, his powers and stuff started to fully develop, and then he started having the vision when he's just walking, and things just start happening, and he's seeing things which kind of help lead him throughout the rest of the movie for the most part. But it was good.
It was really good. I was very impressed. The battle scenes were incredible.
Yes. So I mean, you start on their home planet, and then they ended up. I can't remember the house that they're taking over. The original people that are on Arrakis have been mining this place for years.
Yes.
I mean, they're
That was their contract
extremely-
from the Emperor.
extremely wealthy, and they were at war with people of the planet, and basically hated the people of the planet.
Yeah. They
know?
were essentially trying to genocide the entire planet so they could just have no competition.
Yeah, and they think there's only like 50,000
50,000 total, planet-wide.
planet-wide because they live in the desert, and there's really no structures on it because of the worms and things like that are in the in the desert and the earth and stuff. And so as the movie's unfolding, the Emperor's already said, hey, this is what's going to happen. You guys are going to take this over. And the head of the house, basically, he's already kind of suspected that this was going to happen. And he's going to that planet, not just only to mine spices, but he's going for desert power.
Yes.
Because he said, we've ruled here with sea power
Yes.
and air power.
Yes.
And now we want some desert power
Yes.
to help stay in command of our own house, basically.
Yeah.
Because he's suspecting that there's a lot more there, and he doesn't want the spice. He wants the resources of, I want to build an alliance with the people of the planet.
Yes.
Because they have to be more than the 50,000.
Yes.
So he sends his advanced team there, which is led by Jason Momoa
Yeah.
and his character in the movie. And he does successfully find them, speaks with them, and there's millions of them.
Yes. He's like, there's 10,000 per community, and there are hundreds of communities,
Yep.
if not thousands,
All hidden around the planet.
hidden around the planet. They were like, they had no idea how many people were there.
Yeah.
Like the last house that was, the contract was taken from, they have no idea how many people, and no wonder they kept getting their tails handed to them.
Which is good because they need a large force to sustain a battle with the Emperor and things like that.
Exactly.
And so they have a little meeting with one of the local people, one of their leaders,
Yes.
and he wants nothing to do with them for the most part. And it was very interesting, the different cultures and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna respect me, blah blah blah. And at the end of it, his little one of his right hand guys over his personal security and things like that was like, so there's fruit with our plan.
Yeah.
And yes, definitely it's gonna take a little time, but there's definitely this may work out for us,
Yeah.
like we hoped. Like, you know, we're gonna have to mine spice, yes, but ultimately we're here for the people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes in knowing he's got to mine the spice because spice is the most lucrative and valuable product in the universe.
Because they have to use it to fuel the ships and stuff for
Fuel the ships for space travel,
space travel.
and it has incredible healing properties. So it is a pretty much the fuel that gets you from planet to planet and can keep you from dying.
Yeah.
It can give you extended life. It can heal wounds. It's a miracle substance.
Yeah, and the people that left the planet left them with absolute garbage equipment.
Yes.
Like, they weren't supposed to. They were supposed to leave everything in working order, which is not the case. Which the Emperor, fun to find out, the Emperor doesn't care.
Right.
You know, he sent them there to die.
Yes. He essentially sent them there so that they would be wiped out so that there would not be another rival house to potentially take his throne.
Yep.
Which is never one of their things that they were even showed interest in. They just knew that
He had the support of the other houses.
he had
because
the
he's
support
one
of he was that
higher
one
houses.
that took care of the other houses.
Yeah, and he said, you know, at the beginning of the movie, whenever the Emperor calls him, he said, "We never back down. We never turn away from a call. Whenever we're asked to do something, we do it." And he's honoring his Emperor, but come to find out, you know, Emperor's like, "Nah, we're done with you."
The Emperor has set him up to fail.
Yeah, which is, you know, Isaac played just a phenomenal role.
Absolutely. Oscar
And-
Isaac, love his acting.
Yeah.
Love him as an actor. He is fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah, he did a really good job. I mean,
I haven't seen him do anything bad.
no, I really haven't either. Like,
know,
he's,
Every role he's taken on, he's done the best he can.
yeah,
So
but yeah, so it's interesting
Yeah.
the whole thing, the whole concept of it all. I definitely need to watch it again because I'm sure I missed a few things here and there.
yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. I've already watched it twice, and it's like, yeah, we're going to fit this in again this week so I can pick apart a few more things.
So, who was your favorite character?
I'm definitely going to go with Paul. I mean, he's the main protagonist of the story. He is the central focal point. But just his demeanor, knowing that everything that's going on is essentially about him, and he is not the spoiled child because of it. He's like, no, I've got to earn my place. He's just willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen, and so that's one of the reasons I like him the most. So, what about you? Who
Oh, Jason Momoa.
I knew it. I
Yeah.
knew you were gonna go.
I
with
love
Jason.
that guy, man. I've loved his most stuff I've seen him in. I've loved, like, even from Stargate Atlantis. You know,
Yes.
he was my favorite character on that show, and he's just every movie he's been in ever since is just phenomenal. You know, he's just good. I love his character throughout
Right.
the entire thing and how he ended up sacrificing himself, killing a lot of the Imperial army and the Imperial guards, the army, and what were they called? I don't know. Basically the baddest army that.
Yeah,
Basically, if you go up against them, you're gonna die.
Yes.
It's basically what the
they
gist
are the
of it is.
hired hands of the assassins in the all the houses. Like
Yeah.
this is the army of armies in all the different.
This is
houses.
the Emperor's personal guard,
Yes.
basically his personal army. And if you are in that,
Yeah, if
you're
you're
gonna
in
kill
their
some
way,
people.
you're in trouble.
you're dead. And he takes out like 15 of them
Oh yeah,
in that hallway.
Single-handed.
Yeah, by himself. Even once he got stabbed, he got up and did it some more. It was beautiful.
Yeah, like he wasn't taking nothing off nobody.
And he did everything for his Duke.
Yes,
You know, he's gonna protect his Duke at all costs.
absolutely.
It was beautiful. One of my favorite scenes, though, beyond that one, was whenever Paul's talking to his father on their home planet. He said, "What if I don't want to be the next leader of our house?"
Yeah,
And then, great men don't always choose to lead. You know, the opportunity is given to them, and they decide whether they're going to take it or not. And then if you choose not to be the next leader of our house, you'll
still be my son.
be the only thing I've ever wanted from you was my son.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great.
Yes.
You see so many different stories where you have the king and the prince, where the king's always like, well, you have to be able to lead, you have to be able to follow my footsteps. It's like, no, all I ever wanted you to be was my son.
Yes.
And I appreciate you doing that.
Yes.
And I will always be proud of you for that. It was a beautiful scene.
Yeah. Definitely one of those. Whew. But it was phenomenal. Like, I was so impressed.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I'm definitely excited for part two.
Yeah, I really do expect them to greenlight part 2 within the next week or two.
If they don't, they're crazy.
Yeah, if they decide not to go with it, this is going to turn into a hashtag thing of, hashtag save Dune.
Exactly.
Like, this will be a hashtag war right there.
100%.
But definitely recommend it. My grading was probably going to be a 4.5.
I'll probably go 4.6, 4.7. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's one of the best movies I've seen in a while. As
It
far as
really
like,
was.
didn't know anything about it, never read the book or anything, never watched the original movie. So coming in through this, just new to the story.
Yes.
And I enjoyed it. It grabbed me at the beginning. I was entertained through the 2.5 hours. You look down, I was like, oh, this is almost done.
Yeah.
Okay. Like you said, you're not going to get any closure from this.
Right.
But it's enjoyable to watch, and I would
Right.
watch it again. Yeah.
Yeah, but it sets up part 2 so well. And there's been a lot of movies that are going to have sequels, and they're just like, okay, here's the ending of part 1, and you're just like, well, I feel like I could walk away right now. There's no way I can walk away right now.
If
Like,
they
I've
come out with
got
part
to
two,
have.
you're definitely watching it.
Yes, absolutely. So, do us a favor. Let us know what you think about it.
Yep.
So I think this is going to be it for this week from Monkey C.
Monkey Review.
Do us a favor. Hit that like button
Subscribe.
and leave some comments. Tell us what we're missing. Tell us the part that really stuck out to you. Who was your favorite character?
Yeah.
Because we definitely want to talk about this.
Yep.
All right. Love you guys. See y'all next week.
Bye, guys.